Hey everyone, Charlie here. Welcome to another fresh installment of One Cuppa, as the show is known. I'm here with a can of Green Label Kirin, which is basically light beer. Why? Because I hate myself, I guess. But actually, let's go like this way for a second. This is Koshi no Yu. This is a quite famous sento here in Sabai. Sento being the public bathhouse. And now we can turn back around again. I'm really freaking out this girl on this bike. She keeps looking back at me like I'm following her. Yeah, there it is again. So anyway, yeah, this bathhouse. If you've seen any of these past episodes, you may have seen a section in which I was pretty much bad-mouthing the entire idea of going to a public bath. Mostly because I didn't see the purpose in going to a public bathhouse when I have a bath in my house. But this is so often the case in my life, it seems. I have been made to eat my words a bit because, as it turns out, they're wonderful. Yeah, going there. This one in particular is nice because it's, for an adult, it's 650 yen a person. It's not for an hour. It's not for 2 hours. It's unlimited. So go in there, scrub your body clean, and then jump in one of the baths. Some of them are treated with minerals, so that when you soak in them, it's supposed to do nice things for your skin. I don't know. I've tried it a couple times now in the past couple weeks, and I haven't transformed into Brad Pitt yet. So it seems a dubious claim at best. But yeah, really good time. And that's a good segue into one of the things I really wanted to tell you about today, which is, if you come over here, I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to go to your local izakaya. Before I get into the specifics of that and go on with my ever ranty self, let's take a look at this view. And pan, and pan, and pan, and pan. How gorgeous. How gorgeous is that, right? It's beautiful out here. There have been many times as I go on my rambly, meandering way that I have been sort of homesick or whatever, bummed out for one reason or another. And as you know, sometimes I come out here and I hike around these mountains, but sometimes I don't need to go that far or blow that much energy in a day. I just come out to pretty much the spot I just showed you and take a look and be like, hey man, I'm just a tiny little blip on the planet. You know? The world is much bigger than me. There are other people with bigger problems, everything else like that. So yeah, it's a good way to cheer myself up, I found. So anyhow, topic at hand. Focus, Chuckles. Focus, focus. Yeah, your local izakaya. I was really fortunate to meet a really cool couple of people yesterday at like an international event here in Sabai. And they're talking about how they're afraid to go to izakaya or just many different types of restaurants, in fact, because they're afraid that people will turn them away because they're foreigners, or turn them away because they can't speak Japanese, or if not turn them away, then they would feel that they're impositioning them, whatever the case may be. And I get that. Like, I get that fear, and I get that that wanting to avoid causing the proprietors of these places any trouble. But that said, this is a bit of a liberal estimate, I suppose, but probably 75% of my friends here, and when I say friends, I mean people I consistently talk to or hang out with on a weekly basis, I met at my local izakaya. And the fun thing about that is that my friend group then ranges anywhere from 20-ish, 20, right? Quite a bit younger than I am now, to 55, something like that. But to speak to those points that my new ALT friends made, yes, I'm sure there could be a possibility, though I've never had this trouble, that you will go to an izakaya that doesn't like having to deal with foreigners, or whatever, that you could have a bad experience. But as I've said before in other videos, there's that chance anywhere you go that people are going to treat you like crap, although the reasons for doing so may be a bit different, though no less ridiculous, right? But, so I was talking to you earlier about the public bathhouse, and this is an anecdote just to express what I'm saying. And I went to the bathhouse with the owner of my local izakaya. And that's not a friendship that came instantly. Although he treated me really, really well. Oh man. As I talk, let's look here. He treated me really, really well from the start. Assumed I spoke Japanese. Although at the time, February was the first time I went. I didn't really speak all that well. But it was cool of him to give me the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, he was real patient with me when I didn't know what I wanted to eat right away when I walked in, even when I was busy. Since then we have exchanged dead snake corpse. Well, can't have a live snake corpse, I suppose. Yeah, we've exchanged beers. Gave me a birthday present, like all these things, and it really was like a slow sort of, yeah, it was a process that any friendship, I suppose, takes, right? So, and along on this trip came the owner of the bar. Sorry, it's still a little awkward when people are mad dogging you, but yeah, came the owner of the bar. And one of the regular patrons there, one of the joran, the regular customers there. And yeah, so we went and we had a great time and hung out naked together, and then went and ate some you know, barbecued meat on a stick. Ooh, went down the wrong tube there a little bit. And the reason I tell you this is to just illustrate that I understand how shitty it can be, especially early on, to get out of that bubble of fear. And this is, I think, something I've talked about extensively. But yeah, also to point out that if you can push yourself beyond that point, great things will come of it. Fun, unique experiences. Like, how many people are gonna go home and say, oh yeah, one of my good friends owns my favorite local bar, and sometimes we get naked and bathe together. So it seems it's a great story, right? And it's a great anecdote, and in the end, I suppose those are often the only things we have left to us. So yeah, go to your local izakaya, eat the food, drink some delicious things. Maybe regret it, likely not. So, ooh, the choo-choo's coming. This is the JR train coming too, which is awesome. In Sabae, surprisingly, despite it being Anaka, there are 2 train lines that run through here. The first and the most frequent that I take is the Fukutetsu, the main Fukui line that runs from, here we go. This is a Echizen Express train. And it's nice because pretty easily taking that, oh good lord, of course there's a new spider web on my camera. Sons of bitches. But yeah, so pretty easily you can get to anywhere. Well, particularly in Kansai, using that train you can get to Kansai, Osaka or Kyoto in between an hour to an hour and a half, so it's really, really great. The second train line, the Fukutetsu, runs from Echizen City to Fukui City, so altogether I think that's probably about, an hour and a half trip if you were really to take it from one end to the other, and then from there you can go up north to like where a lot of the onsens are in Fukui City, so, or not Fukui City, in Fukui Prefecture. So, and I like that second train line a lot, even though it's super old trains that beat you to hell when you ride them, because the suspension is just that terrible, but anyway, good times, great oldies. Is this thing on? Of course, okay. I feel like I should get that put on a t-shirt. Well, that seems a little premature, but maybe like after we hit like 1,500 subscribers or something, I'll make a t-shirt. I don't know. Anyway, planning way too far ahead. So yeah, this week is so stupidly stressful. Let's pause for a moment. Let's look at the red tint of these mountains over here. Beautiful, eh? Somebody commented on one of my videos that the rural area here looks rather depressing, and I agree with that to an extent. During the winter, it gets super gray and just super, what's the word? Bleak. It gets rather bleak here in the winter time, particularly in the late winter when you've just had enough of it. But now, yeah, weather pattern change is quite evident. So anyway, but otherwise, I wouldn't have it any other way than live out here. This view, these colors, amazing. And maybe I'll change my tune eventually, but as for now, that's the song I'm a-singing. So, the reason we're coming out this way is because, well, we've never been out here for one couple before. That's a pretty big reason. And 2, one of my favorite temples in Sabai City is, well, a pretty good walk out this way. And 3, there are some really cool old houses, and actually like a sauce factory of some kind out here. I see a spider web. I see you connecting directly to my face. Yeah, so I figured I might show it off, right? That is part of the reason I'm doing this. So, and what I also like out here is that there are a lot of super tight roads. So it ends up giving this really cool, zigzaggy, very early Meiji period look to the city, which is nice. Or also predating that in the Edo period, eh? So let's keep on trucking. We'll get to see some stuff here soon. So yeah, this week is, as I started to say, superbly, stupidly, awfully stressful. Well, the last week and this week, just because I'm going home in 6 days, and I've had to go to immigration to get my new Gaijin card made. I've had to Christmas shop, go get a haircut, get gifts for my coworkers, get ingredients for the Bonenkai party stuff. It's just like never ending, you know? And it doesn't look to be changing anytime in the near future. So probably right up until I go on Sunday. It's just gonna be insane. Insane time. So the thing is, that's okay. But I promised last week that I would be sure to get out what the fukui or two. Let's get past this. Oh, what's going on there? Seems like they're breaking things. Let's get past that before we even attempt this, right? Yeah, I promised that I would get you guys a couple what the fukuis here before I leave. A couple is looking unlikely, and I apologize for that. However, I'm gonna do whatever I can to at least make sure I get one out to you. It's gonna be here in Sabae, just because of the sort of the time commitment involved to get to Fukui. Particularly if I have to get there before work, because I'm gonna shoot them the B-roll and the different clips and stuff like that before work. So it's just not really doable to go to Fukui City itself. But the idea of what the Fukui is to showcase the prefecture, not just specifically the city. So that's okay, I think. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. These narrow streets with these old houses. But we're not to the truly tight yet. Anyhow, that said, despite it being like a super stressful kind of prep period to get ready to go home for this week, I'm very much looking forward to it, so it should be fun. I talked about doing a video with like Japanese snacks. I'm also going to do a video with like Japanese games, and one of the games I really want to do, mostly because I like doling out punishment on my family members, is janken, rock, paper, scissors. But the twist being, I don't know if there's like a difference in naming for this, for playing janken this way, but sometimes Japanese kids will play janken with a plastic mallet and a helmet, and if you lose the bout, you very quickly have to try and put the plastic helmet on before you are struck on the crown there with said mallet. So it could be fun. Good opportunity to beat up my brothers a little bit, and my mom and my dad, maybe my grandma. Not my grandma. That seems like a bad idea, although it is sort of amusing. To say the least. Sorry grandma. But yeah. Let's take another look here. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous out here. Ba-ba. Now it is worth noting that about this time of year normally you would have the bears hibernating up there, right? But actually, I had a story, maybe 6 days ago now, where a local went up there for like his morning hike or something, his weekly hike up the mountain, and I think maybe he didn't bring his bear bell with him or something because he assumed that the bears would be sleeping. Of course, we're in the middle of a heat wave, so everybody's pissed off. The trees don't know what to do. The bears are like, is it my nap time? Is it time to wake up? So they're a little grumpy, right? I'm like, when the hell can I build a snowman? Everybody's upset. And yeah, so the guy got, I think he's okay. I think actually his wounds were from being like, having the poo scared out of him and trying to book it down the mountain and falling a bit and getting cut up. Yeah, see, here we go. This is what I was telling you guys about. These old, super thin roads, which even this, I suppose, is kind of wide by many standards here in this country, I guess, but it definitely narrows up there, as you can see. But these houses, look at these old wooden houses. Well, wooden houses, derp, but I mean like not sided with polyvinyls. And to be honest, modern Japanese houses are rather boring. They look too much like American houses, I guess, in my opinion. Although they still have like kind of a unique look to them, the way the roofs are sloped and things like that, but nothing like this. Let's see. Sabai now has so many of these old, sheeted tin buildings, these old wooden buildings that were once miso factories. Whoa, there's a car coming. Let's go this way. Miso factories, sake breweries. I guess that's the right way to say that. Sake breweries. And like I said, there is still a shop that is famous for some kind of sauce. I feel like last time I passed it, I didn't understand the kanji. That may well be the case this time too, but yeah, it's just really sad to see. Not sad. I guess it's the natural progression of things, but well, anyway. But yeah, now it's just a lot of it's dead industry, right? So now we've moved on from making delicious things you can put in your mouth to useful things you can put on your face. With that being glasses. Konnichiwa! This is really common to see too, like these really big family and communal gardens. Look at the size of those. Chinese cabbage, like they're bigger than your head. Well, I don't know what the size of your head is, but I can assume, I suppose. But yeah, so now I guess it's okay to say we've been here for a year, right? Yeah, so now the city is mostly famous for its eyewear, which the omiyage I'm taking home to my family are cookies made out of soba flour, which is to say buckwheat flour, that are shaped like glasses, which is dreadfully exciting, I know. But, ooh. Sorry, I guess this episode is Charlie rambles while looking at old buildings, which maybe isn't all that different than usual. But, yeah. It's so nice out here. It's quiet, you know? Which I live in a place where there's not like a terrible amount of noise pollution besides the crazy neighbors playing the Walking Dead theme every Sunday morning for hours on end, but yeah, it's still nice to come out here where most of the noise pollution, well, not even noise pollution, when most of the noise, when we're not having this construction happening, is just birds or kids playing or people working in their gardens, right? So anyway, we are at one of my more favorite temples now. Here to the right. This is at the midpoint between my house. Oh, poo. Looks like it's closed for construction. Well, not closed, but the temple itself is closed off for construction, but you can still go up there and pray and make an offering. But to be honest, this shrine in this kind of weather is not terribly unique, or even unique at all, I suppose. But like during the morning, especially now when you're going hiking. Yeah, during the morning when you're going hiking. Now when the weather, like when we're constantly trading these cold fronts for warm fronts. Oh, sorry, there's a tractor coming with a, what do they call those things? With a scoop full of old wood, looks like. And yeah, so if you come here anytime between 5:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, it's always shrouded in this really, really like, gorgeous, heavy blanket of mist, and it gives it this really sort of spooky atmosphere to it, right? So it's really fun to see in the morning, especially in the sunrise. And add to that place is, well, probably just about, I don't know, just under halfway to the mountain trail over there, Monju-san, which I've hiked on with you guys before. And yeah, so it's always my rest stop, and you can meet some really sweet people there who offer up konnichiwa, who offer up giant daikon. It's funny. If your experience with Japanese is limited to like classroom Japanese, or even I guess maybe more, I don't know, like interacting with store clerks and things like that, when you say konnichiwa, you can expect something like them to say irashaimase back, or like welcome. You can expect them to say konnichiwa back, or hi konnichiwa, or something like that, right? But something I've noticed more recently is that a lot of people here will, instead of saying konnichiwa, whether it's initiated or there's, I'm doing a wonderful job explaining this. Whether I initiate it or they're initiating the conversation, so to speak, they say hey, which is interesting to hear people say hey, although in an admittedly different way, right? So anyhow, alright, so this factory coming here on the left, yeah, you can definitely get, let's see, Three Heavens Sauce is what it's called. You can see it's a very old building, very broken down, but it smells like some mixture of miso. There it is, toratsuki, katoris. Yeah, just sort of wafting off that place in that very old building. I think it's definitely like a family thing. I don't even know where they sell that sauce, but I've walked by it now at least, I don't know, maybe 50 times since I've been here, and I feel like by virtue of that alone, I really need to try it, right? So there's the sun going down. Sahi Light. Sahi Optical. It's another place over there with the marking Asahi Light on it. The light is spelled L-I-T-E, which generally speaking, terrible racist. Generally speaking, of course, when you spell light, L-I-T-E, is a mark of like light beer, and light is of course the noun meaning the source for light. So kind of confused what they make, particularly being that they're attached to another company that apparently does eyewear. Alright, so we need to shift this over here because there's a nursery coming up on my right here. And last thing I want to do is film a nursery. So there's still kids there by the sound of it. Ooh. Okay, so here's what we're walking towards. Just gorgeous off in the distance. I know I keep showing this off, but why not? So, we're nearing the end of our kana here. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Tangerine sky. Yeah, we're ending our kana here on one Cuppa. But there's one more place I want to show you guys before we shut off for the night. And I think, well, I'm not 100% sure, this will either be the last or the second. Anyway, this might very well be the last one Cuppa before I go back to the States, so the next one might be in America. But anyhow, what the hell's going on here? All sorts of cars lined up. Oh! Okay, I'll see you guys later. Okay, so we're back, and I haven't touched the beer, so the amount of Cuppa will not diminish. Just really random. I ran into one of my friends who owns a bakery here in Sabai called Kohachi. Fantastic. I'm gonna be featuring it actually on that What the Fukui I mentioned, because they just, for the most part, like 100% of the time, 100% of the time I am completely alright with living on Japanese food. I love Japanese food, but he, when he was younger, traveled throughout France and, this guy's like not happy with me at all. He traveled throughout France and Germany and other parts of Europe on like a sojourn, right? On a quest to find the perfect way to make bread. So now he has really faithfully, at least to my palate, recreated like focaccias with rosemary and salt worked into them perfectly. So anyway, his bakery is where you should go if ever you're in Sabae. If you randomly find yourself in Sabae and you're looking for a taste of bread that you might be more used to back home in the States, or if you're from Europe. And the thing to know, I guess, now that we're on the topic, if you are a bread lover, it can be kind of problematic being here because the preferred style of bread here is like super soft baguettes. Like soft inside, soft outside, instead of crunchy outside, soft inside, right? He makes, I'm not sure what the style of bread is called or the style of baking is called now that I think about it, but yeah, he bakes in a way that you get more of that that true French bread sort of texture to it, so it's fantastic. So so many people have no idea what to think. I've decided, in retrospect, that this is a really bad time of day to do these videos, just because everybody's going home, so you get a lot of traffic. But to be honest, I was kind of sick of doing them in the morning because the light's the same, the amount of people who are out and about are the same, the amount is singular, so is the word. And yeah, anyway, so let's finish this up. One more sippa here from the Cuppa. This counts, right? And yeah, guys, thanks always for watching. Sorry we had to actually cut the video into 2 pieces today. I try to avoid ever stopping the camera while we're out on these because I like to keep a more like frame of consciousness thing going on. But couldn't be helped. So Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching. Thanks for your patience with the What the Fukui series, and with all of my videos, I guess, because I tend to be a terrible procrastinator. Thanks always for the support, guys. Love your faces, and I'll see you very soon indeed. Cheers.